Welcome, peeps, to
Episode
Trapped in a
22.
Dungeon 22, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, we've been gone for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Shit is
I mean, still
not
been
lined
uploading
up with
stuff, but
scheduling.
yeah.
Yeah, still uploading, but this we've kind of came to the conclusion that we're gonna try out doing these episodes bi-weekly, so like every other week on the Sunday, see how that
hmm
goes. Just because this is the second go around where we haven't been able to actually get together and record this shit. So
Yeah.
just to kind of lighten up the load a little bit, we're gonna attempt this bi-weekly, and if we get to the point where we're comfortable with actually doing, and in a situation where we can do it weekly again, then might happen. But as of right now, it's this kind of new situation.
hmm
But yeah, dude. Uh, fuck, lots of things have happened.
And that being
we
said, on that same topic though, in place of it on those other Sundays where there's not a podcast, we're gonna try and do a
Yeah.
second Let's Play. Um, just because I mean, in a recording session we can get 4 or 5 episodes out of it, whereas in a recording session of this we get one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try that. I mean, we might even I don't know, we'll talk about it later, but we'll figure out, maybe have 2 series going on at once, 2 different series or something,
Yeah.
or who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
buddy.
so what were you about to bring up?
So, because I've been on such a big like fucking D&D, I mean, obviously the fucking
Mm-hmm.
I've ever since we gotten back into playing, I've just got like that obsession has just fucking peaked
Yeah.
again. And so I've had like an itch to kind of like fucking play, but like at the same time I was like, well, we can't play all the time. And then I saw people like actually doing like solo adventures and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how the fuck does that work exactly? That sounds fucking like unusual, I guess. But like in a sense, like people, like one guy even made like a meme about it. He was just like, yeah, doing your own like solo adventure. It's basically writing a fucking book. And I'm
Well,
like, that sounds
I
about
mean,
right.
when you say that, two things come to mind. At least when you say that, like, there's well, first of all, I've seen, just because from watching videos on like board games stuff, there people do make one player board games where
Yeah,
it's like a thing you could print out, and it's like so the two things come to mind is, one, old school choose your own adventure books. That's
yep,
basically what you're
yep,
playing. And then I mean, you could, like, I'm sure somebody's made like encounters where you just have to roll on the tables, and then that's like what shows up and what happens. So you're like not in control, like, but like it's still like a one player
yeah,
thing where it's like
yeah.
you're traveling from one town to the other, and it's like, oh, you're gonna spend so many days traveling, you have to roll on the random encounter table. All right, let's roll, and then you go to the random encounter. Oh, this is what happens. All right, now I have to deal with it, and you just control
Yep,
everything.
yep. Fucking but yeah, I was kind of like just going ahead and like trying to learn about it and shit like that. And obviously like, there was the solo adventure, like choose your own adventure, like books and shit like that. Which I mean, I've heard plenty of those.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the big things was like obviously you could do it with D&D, but this book right here is like old school D&D
Mm-hmm.
all in the most. It's called Basic Fantasy. So I guess they already put out like a fourth edition not that long ago, but this will. I mean, these are cheap as fuck. Like I literally got this for like 7 8 bucks on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's literally just D&D, but like old school in a
Yep.
sense. And it's very basic. And people have just been using this to like run like adventures and shit like that. Granted, there's only like 4 races to
Yeah.
choose from, which I mean, I kind of expected that. Ability scores kind of work almost the same, but a little bit differently. Like you
Mm-hmm.
got dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans, and that's really about it. I mean, just the
Now,
four.
now is it like real old school D&D where that the race and class are like the same thing, or is it like you choose a race and a class?
You choose a race and then a class.
Okay, because like real old school D&D, like dwarves,
Yeah,
being a dwarf was your class.
Yeah.
Like,
Um, yeah. So they have, well, obviously for this, like some classes or like some races can only do like certain classes
yeah,
or be spellcasters and shit like that. So like the only four classes that are in here are a cleric, a fighter, a magic user, and a thief. And then a
nice,
thief has like all these like fucking like a whole page of skills just for itself.
nice.
Um, but there's things in here where you can like combine like the classes and shit like that, like a
Mm-hmm.
magic user with the fighter or a magic user with the thief. And I think those might be the only two. I think cleric kind of like stands on its own because I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's practically both already in a sense. But yeah, I picked that up, dude, and I started reading through it, and I'm like, this is actually kind of like badass in a sense. They actually have like a whole fucking thing on Amazon of like adventure books and shit like that, a
Mm-hmm.
monster manual, and they're all like fucking super cheap.
I feel like
And
I've
so
seen the little adventure books because they put out like the old paper, like old style paperback ones. Like I feel like I've seen those at some like at one of the game shops we used to go to. They had them
yeah,
or something.
yeah. This one is kind of a like a very popular one, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, in a sense. Like it's got a very dedicated community. Like I've even heard people like dropping fucking D&D just to play this and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I mean, fucking D&D is like
Yeah.
there's so much shit within D&D. Like it kind of it's like yeah, if you're looking for like the old school kind of like
Mm-hmm.
play around, if you can't get a hold of like old D&D like modules and everything, there's this that I recommend. But also like there's a little book called White Box, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which is like almost identical to how like the old like first edition shit is.
Yeah.
I think it's basically what it is, but like they relabeled it and everything to make
And
for
yeah, they
fucking
probably made some stuff to make it easier to understand. Because there's another
yeah
company that did that I've been really wanting to get, but I don't know. There's a weird thing. It's called Old School Essentials. I've talked about
yeah
them before, but they have like little book box sets for like basic expert D&D and for advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and they
yeah
work on that like Kickstarter type of model where like they did a Kickstarter and I don't know I think they've done a second one for like more stuff or like another version of it or whatever, but they haven't like
mm,
just made it available to buy just like on their website. So it's like
yeah
I'm waiting for like the version like the because and they've like changed it a bit. Like I'm just waiting for like the right version to come out and for it to be available just to buy on the website. Because I've missed like whenever I remember about it and go look it up, like I've missed whatever Kickstarter was going on. So it's like, well, I
yeah
guess I'm just gonna wait and hope they make it actually just available on the website.
yeah buddy
Because I do want to get
yeah
those. I mean, I've already made a nice little collection of like third edition books. And
yeah
there's like one or two like I think I got like one or two like advanced books, and I have a couple like OG books.
yeah
But some of them, I mean, some of them aren't too bad price wise to find. But some modules, like one of the ones I really want, probably not gonna buy it. Like there's a
yeah
I think it's Spelljammer Creature Appendix 1 or 2. I think it's the second one where
oh
they
okay
used to do these like creature appendix like expansion like little paperback folder. There's like a folder with
oh
where all
yeah
the sheets had were hole punched. You could put them in a binder, and it was the second one for Spelljammer, which has some wild cool shit in it. They have the fucking I forget what one of them's called Spirit Warriors, and the other one's called
mm,
something else. But the Spirit Warriors are basically Gundams, and the other ones are basically Guyver suits. It's like giant insect. It's like literally like an insect like battle mech you could pilot.
Jesus fucking
And
Christ man
the other one's like it's like this creature. It's like from the same insect race or whatever, but it like binds to your skin and you can wear it like fucking like a super suit of armor.
bruh
And
bruh
I fucking want them data cards so bad. I want, but that like it's like I said, it's like a folder of like just like a I don't know, maybe 2 3 dozen like monster data sheets or whatever or pages or
yeah
whatever how many pages it is, It's like $70 at least. And that's if you could find it. Half the time when I'm looking for it on eBay, they don't, no one's even selling it. They're selling the first one. The first one was a little
Yeah.
more common, and that one's probably like 40, $50. But it doesn't have the ones that I want in it.
Jesus fucking
But
Christ.
that's
Yeah.
always the weird thing. Is like some of those old modules that are like really popular, or really like a lot of copies got made. Like they're pretty cheap. I mean, you can find them like
Yeah.
pretty reasonably priced. But some of those harder to get ones. It's kind of with
Yeah.
the third edition. There's I think 6 monster manuals, and the first three you can get all of them for like 20-ish, $25 maybe. But then like four is like 40, $50, and then five and six are like fifth or like 60, $70. Because they're just, and actually some people are even
Jesus.
selling them for like $100 plus, like because they're just so, because that's like at the end of the edition, not as many people have bought them. Like there's just not as many of them out there, and it's like fuck, dude, that'd be so cool to have like all of them. Like to have like fuck, especially
CSC.
since they're numbered. Like the fact that it's a numbered monster manual series and not like how they do now where it's like all just different shit. That makes
Yeah.
you like that makes me want it more. But then I
Yeah.
see them
See.
price tags and it's just
Yeah. My D&D goal is pretty much to get like all the 5e books, all the
good luck.
adventures, like the fucking monster like
Mm-hmm.
books and shit like that, bestiaries like that, just so that like in case one day they decide, hey,
Sixth
we're gonna
edition.
stop 5e and start 6th edition,
Mm-hmm.
or 5.5 or whatever the fuck it ends up being, or who knows.
Well,
But honestly, I really wouldn't be surprised if like within the next couple years we hear something about 6th edition.
next year we're supposed to be getting a new player's handbook, new player handbook, new dungeon master guide, and all that.
Really?
Yeah, they've like weirdly talked about like I think it's not really, from what I understand, it's not sixth edition. They're not calling it sixth edition, and it's not really. It's everything fifth edition is going to be backwards compatible. So it's kind of 5.5, but I think they're trying to do that weird thing that a lot of corporate companies like to do when they have like a thing where they're like, it's like that's like the whole one D&D thing. It's like it's just D&D. You don't have to worry about these fancy edition numbers. We want you to buy everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I think that's what they said. It's everything's going to be compatible for fifth edition. Uh, it's just like an updated version of. There might be some rule changes in it, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Because
Some
the
like
one D
stat
and D,
changes and everything,
because
and
one D&D is like the. They should really change the name of one D&D, and because call it what it is. It's a community test environment basically for Dungeons and Dragons rules, or because that's what they did.
yeah.
They threw up a bunch of just like rule changes, and they're like, "What do you think?" And then that like to let people test it out. That's what they really should have called it.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like if they do 5.5 or 6, like fucking like go for it and call it as it is. I'm sure like
Yeah.
5.5 would be fine. Like I know like a lot of people like there's a couple classes in the player handbook that people are like mid about. Like they don't like some people don't really care for sorcerer too much because it's kind of complicated with the sorcery points and
Yeah.
what's doing like trying to make like a ranger kind of sucks. Um,
Yeah. Ranger's pretty bad. Yeah, that's I think out of all the classes in 5e, Ranger is
and so like
fucking
they
just
could maybe do some stuff to kind of balance those out. But what I've
yeah.
always wanted are fucking like omnibus like compendiums where it's like here's all the races, all the classes
Yep.
in the new player handbook.
Yep.
But that's not gonna
That
happen.
would be that would be the smart way to do it, but at the same time they're looking at it from a money standpoint and they're just going to be like we're
Well,
going
that's
to
the thing is
make
like
it.
if the thing if you think about it, like if they made it as like kind of like a collector's item type thing, where it's like a super nice like bound book with like really nice stock paper. It's like nice and thick. It's got like a nice cover on it. It's not like the same exact like as the regular 5e stuff. And they make it like thing where it's like, which this would be best to do before they go into a new edition. I think when they start to stop selling 5e books is have one book where it's like, okay, if you want to keep playing 5e, here's the player handbook with all the races, all the classes. Uh, the magic, yeah, spells are all in there. Here's it's, dude, they could just say fuck it and do a whole separate spell book that has, because there's so many fucking magic items and so many spells.
Yeah.
You could just do a whole separate book. Which I mean that would suck because you'd have to, and they could maybe make it as like a whole box set thing or like a whole thing you get
Yeah.
on fucking what's it called, Hasbro Plus Pulse or whatever the fuck, and have like a DM
Yeah.
book that has like all the extra rules from some of the other books. Like,
Mm-mm-mm.
would be cool. Or they could do what they used to do and just be like, literally call it Player Handbook 2. All new classes, a couple of have some that are revised and have a bunch of new ones.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
actually, if you
True.
actually look, there's not really been like there's been like one new class, Artificer,
Yeah.
and then the fucking what's it called, the Critical Role one's like an official one now.
Yeah. Yeah. The gunslinger or something like that, and then the blood hunter.
Yeah, but I
I
think
think.
Blood Hunter, it's like technically, like unofficially, officially, it's on D&D
Yeah.
Beyond.
That's the one that Matt Mercer made.
Yeah, but the only other one was the Artificer, which you can make a gunslinger with and all that. But
Yeah.
that's the
True.
only other like new class. We've all everything else we've gotten has been races and like subclasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give us a new fucking class, man. Just
That
like
and revise the rules for
or
multi-classing, and bring back prestige classes. That's like one like from going through those three third edition books. That's one of the coolest things ever. A fucking prestige classes, where if you have the right stats, you could take this specific like specialty class, and like there's like those fucking books on that is so fucking cool reading those. And there's
yeah.
so fucking many of them, dude. It could like, I mean, fucking, I mean everything from like a swashbucklers to like a fucking drunken master, like all that shit.
Yep. Which I think yeah, I think the monk there is, I want to say it's in one of the other little books. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember which fucking one, but there is the drunken master one in there.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
But
Like,
I don't know how good it is
but
in
this is
fifth
like literally
edition.
like yeah, all right, you have these things, and you have to have the character go through this one event where they meet and they have to fight and beat a drunken master in
Yeah,
a drunk fight,
yeah,
and then they become their class becomes a drunken master monk or whatever the fuck.
yeah. That's actually another class monk that's kind of I've heard is it's pretty good early game, but like once it starts becoming like late game,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a damage class, it really starts to fall behind everything else, and it's just I think it's just another one of those like ranger situations in
Mm-hmm.
a sense, which I mean I guess you could just say overall ranger just fucking sucks in fifth edition, but
Yeah,
I
and
mean
for what I said, it's got like a couple like cool like tricks and tools, but they're just not like super commonly useful. Like as a DM, you have to kind of go out of your way to make them useful. And, okay, there you're back. You kind of froze for a second. There we go.
fucking Discord, bro. All right, but yeah. Anyways,
Well, I was saying, making a point that Ranger sucks.
yes,
I
Ranger
think. Oh yeah.
sucks.
So what I was saying was that it's got like some like tricks and tools and stuff that well they could be good.
Oh
Like as a
no.
DM, you'd have to go out of your way to make them useful instead of them just being useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your fucking camera just did that shit again, dude.
Listen, I'm the one recording. It's all you that's doing that shit.
It is what it is, man. All right.
Yeah.
All
Um.
right.
Speaking of pre-orders and something related to Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know if you saw, but I got a big old juicy ad. Been getting ads all over for this. Uh, fucking Gloomhaven is doing a new Kickstarter, and they got some dope shit. And if I had more money, bro, I'd be getting that big boy package. And if it was a little better, too, because there is like one or two things I think it's missing that would make it like over the top, but then it'd be way too fucking expensive. So
Yeah.
Gloomhaven, I guess in the box, I didn't because I've never played it. It doesn't come with miniatures. It comes with little 2D stand-ins for all like the different creatures and shit, and instead of having minis in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their Kickstarter, they are doing a big print run of Gloomhaven Second Edition, which I guess is like a revised version of Gloomhaven. They are doing a reprint of Frosthaven, which is like just a separate thing, but it's all set in the same world. And then they're doing miniature miniature box sets for one that comes with everything in Gloomhaven, one that comes with everything in Frosthaven, and then another one for every expansion that they've made that has all the miniatures you need. Like, and it even has like multiples, like fucking kobolds. There's like 10, or goblins. There's like 10 and shit like that. The main box is like 300 minis in it.
Holy shit. Holy shit, dude.
And it's like, and they're for like pre-order and all that. And then there's another game that they're doing, and I forgot what it was. What the fuck was it? It was like, I think it might just be like a role-playing game version of Gloomhaven or something. But like, dude, I was looking at it, I was like, oh. The thing that sucks is that the big version of it, there's like, obviously because that's Kickstarter, there's like all the different levels. The biggest one, which is like 500 something bucks, which is totally worth it for what you get, has the Gloomhaven Second Edition box, all the miniature boxes for all the expansions, the main box, and all the Frosthaven expansion boxes, like all the miniatures for them. But it doesn't come with the expansions themselves or Frosthaven. So if you were to buy that, you'd have all these minis, and you'd have to buy all the expansions and Frosthaven and all these expansions. And I was like, "Fuck, man, it's gonna be like fucking
Jesus.
like $700 to get all that shit, if not more." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't." I thought about getting it with the like the regular ones. I was like, "Ooh, fuck." It's all pre-primed, like nice looking minis and shit. I think they're pre-primed. They might not be. Uh, but they're all ready to paint. There's no assembly, I don't think, except for maybe some of the big ones might. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Fuck, dude, that'd be so fucking sick."
Yeah.
And they even partnered with one of the companies that makes like the foam inserts for like Warhammer stuff for like holding your minis and all that. They partnered with
Ooh.
them to make ones that were already pre-cut, perfect size, so you could fit all your minis and all your box components in the box for
Oh,
Gloomhaven.
that's
Now, obviously, the
fucking.
box sits a lot taller because there's a lot of shit in there,
Yeah.
but it still all fits in the box.
God, dude. That's.
Has all the
How much was
component.
it? How much
Oh,
was it running for? It has to be a lot. It has to be a
that's the thing is
lot.
there's so many different like. Oh, dude,
Bundles and shit.
yeah, I was like, I was really, really contemplating.
Yeah, because, dude, like, that's just. I mean, I've been wanting to fucking try Gloomhaven for a
All right,
while.
so they're coming out with like a Gloomhaven RPG rule books. So that's part of the Kickstarter. So you can get the core book.
Mm.
There's this bundle, which is the RPG deluxe set, which has the source book and the battle box, which comes with all like, you know how like D&D has like, you can buy like the deck of cards for all the different classes and stuff. It comes with all that shit, all the
Oh.
different cards. Comes with DM screen, some other like different like trackers and shit, and like a cool box to keep it all in. Then there's Gloomhaven Second Edition printing, which is just that by itself. Oh yeah, the RPG book is $30. The RPG deluxe box is like $90. Gloomhaven Second Edition is $130. Uh, the box of miniatures for just the base Gloomhaven 259 miniatures to replace all the enemy and boss standees from Gloomhaven first and second edition.
Ooh,
$130. It's not bad for fucking 259 minis, dude.
that's not bad. I was just about to say that's really not
That's
bad.
literally 50 cents a mini. And there's like dragons and shit in there, dude. Uh, then there's Frosthaven. That's what it's called. Frosthaven's second
Yeah,
printing. That's $180 by itself. Then there's
Frosthaven.
miniatures of Gloomhaven full. $325. You get the Gloomhaven base set, Gloomhaven summon set, Forgotten Circles expansion set, Jaws of the Lion expansion set, Frosthaven summon set, and Frosthaven expansion set. So you get all the minis because they're releasing minis for all their expansions and all the versions of the game. So you get all of them. Which is, let me see if it says how many it
Jesus.
is. So yeah, the base set's 259 minis. The next, which is showing off a lot of them. I mean, there's all kinds of. Some of them they haven't showed off yet. That fucking Elder Drake is fucking sick. Uh, Gloomhaven
Yeah, dude.
summons another 66 minis.
Yeah, these are fucking.
I know they're like good.
Oh man.
Forgotten Circles, which is like a little small box, is only 23. Jaws of the Lion 47, which that looks like that has a couple big ones in it. Then the Frosthaven, which is another
Yeah.
174. Plus, uh, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Frosthaven summons another 47. So I mean, it's fucking like that's a lot of miniatures for $325.
That is.
But
That
then
is.
there's the Ultimate Gloomhaven set, which this is one of the ones. This is like the one that I was looking at. This is the second to last of the options. It's the Gloomhaven RPG Deluxe set, Gloomhaven Second Edition, the miniatures of Gloomhaven base box for $350. It's pretty good price for all that stuff. And then they have the big one. It's literally called the big one, $550. Um, it's everything that's new for this Kickstarter, which is Gloomhaven Second Edition, the RPG Deluxe set, and all the minis.
Mm. God damn.
Yeah,
Mm. That is fucking tempting. That is. Because that is such a good fucking price for all that, though.
I know. That's
Like,
just
that is
that's what gets
really
me.
good price. Like, if it had been anywhere else, that shit would have been like $400 or $500.
And it's like, fuck, man. Like I could just sit there thinking about like painting all those miniatures. It'd be fun. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I still have like, you know, 2/3 of an army to paint, something like that. Half of an army, somewhere around there.
Yeah. But
Um,
even then, I'm really tempted to like get even just the fucking RPG,
yeah.
like, because I was reading it a little bit and it said like all it feels like like the book feels like it's almost leather bound, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, dude, that's already like
Mm-hmm.
a leather book, or at least if it feels like a leather book, is
The
already a
fucking
fucking
the
steal.
deluxe version. You saw the
Like,
deluxe version. The box it comes in looks like a chest, and it
yeah, the
opens
chest,
up, and then
and then
all the
the
books are
tome of
stacked in
cards
there.
and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, dude, like, and that's a lot of fucking cards too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think each of those was like the different classes and shit,
Yeah.
which that's a lot
Well, I
of
think it was
fucking
classes
cards.
and race abilities.
Class and race abilities, okay. Which even then though, dude, that's still fucking like, ooh,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've thought over the years just about getting Gloomhaven just in general, just because I hear a lot of good things about it.
yeah. Well, I mean, shit. Anytime I go into like a fucking like comic store or a
Game
fucking
store
board
and all that.
game store or game store, they always have fucking Gloomhaven
Mm-hmm.
somewheres. At
And
least
it's
one fucking copy of
and
it.
that's the thing. There's something about seeing that big ass box on the shelf that's just like gets you
Yeah,
wet.
yeah. I mean, shit. I almost walked away one time with a fucking what was it called? Cthulhu Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But like, dude, those minis were fucking badass. ass though, dude.
Oh yeah, it's the
Like,
same thing with like the fucking like Dark Souls board games and shit. Like,
oh yeah,
dude.
like I literally looked at that box and you can't even fucking get a hold of it now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying for years to try and find that fucking board game and it's just non fucking existent. And I'm like, dude, that fucking sucks so bad because I was like, I would have played the fuck out of
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, but yeah, man. I mean, it's good to see that like Gloomhaven wasn't, just left in the dark, I guess, because
No, I mean
all I've ever seen was just the one board game, and I was like, fuck, dude,
no,
like,
I've seen like that, and that they've had like other like smaller boxes and stuff, and like I think I even seen Frosthaven. Or yeah, I think I've seen Frosthaven like somewhere before. It's like
okay,
I've seen it around. I just never never got it.
yeah,
But it's on there. I mean, obviously, like that's something that we'd have to like all play in person and stuff and all that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I do want to get it.
yeah. Which actually, still kind of on the topic of like D&D and everything. We had another D&D session.
Yeah, and I bought another book because
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, we can go on to the
fucking,
session about the session.
yeah. And just out of curiosity, what were your thoughts on how that session went?
So everything was going fine, and till right before the end.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I'm gonna be honest. So because obviously everyone was who's watched this wasn't there.
yeah.
We at one point went to a job board in the game, got a job to go clear out some goblins, and we did. Now we've never used like a job board thing before in any of our games. Uh, so I wasn't sure how Gavin was gonna play us turning it in. And literally like before we left, I was like thinking, should I cut like an ear off all these dead goblins or something? Nah, probably should have. Probably should have, so we would have proof of killing them all. Or fuck, I guess real proof would be cut off all their heads, but that'd be kind of morbid to walk into like the middle of town with a bunch of goblin
Yeah.
heads,
I think I would have accepted like
ears,
I
or
mean ears or fingers or
yeah,
something to show that like
I cut off all their
it was a
dicks.
goblin. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
I carry the nutsacks like a coin purse.
Do like they did in Vietnam and just wear like a fucking necklace with the dicks and everything.
It's threaded through the dick, through the urethra.
Yeah. Oh
Ew.
my god. Yeah, it's so
But I was like, well, and like once you like you said like once we went to turn it in, and the character was like, you don't have proof. I was like, well, I guess I should have did that. And then things got out of hand
things did
at
get out
that
of
moment when
hand.
we couldn't turn it in. Um, See, I suggested showing him the sword that our good friend Raymond had acquired that may or may not have be decaying his hand that we have to deal with at some point. We kind of just went to bed and didn't deal with that, but we should probably deal with that at some point. Um, and they had him grab it, and it started making his hand decay. And it kind of threw, I guess, some plot lines out the window when we almost got into a fight with this guy. Because there's a whole thing where we were supposed to meet up with him later to join a fight club and all that, and now we're not
Yeah.
welcome unless we could find someone else to sponsor us. I guess we'll figure that out.
Yeah. It realistically kind of just opened up a whole like
A whole can of worms.
all like a can of worms, but like at the same time, like I'm sitting there like just DMing it, and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? And I'm like, oh fuck. It's just like in
Yeah,
my mind, I'm just like going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. It's like, oh fuck. Like,
yeah, but
which the part that really like threw me for a left turn was so this is kind of like information, but like at the same time, I mean, character alignments. I mean, you can usually tell. I mean, people usually bladder that shit out in our group, anyways. was old Mikey boy. How like when he started off with his halfling barbarian, he made him lawful good, and he was going to be the goody good of the group. And then
Bro,
somehow turned around and was egging that shit on, being like, "Yeah, touch the sword, touch the sword, touch the sword." I'm like, bro, what the fuck is
I
happening
don't think
right
it's
now?
possible for some of them to not play like a chaotic neutral character.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for them not to.
Like, I don't even remember what I put. I honestly don't remember what I put as my alignment. I don't think it's that. I mean, I know the last character I really played, I fucking leaned into chaotic neutral. Like,
Oh yeah,
I thought pretty well. Um, with old Brogmere, the Minotaur.
yeah, Brogmere, yeah.
I fucking love that character. Let's see what I
May he
put.
may he always reign with the Spider Queen.
Fuck yeah. I don't. Where would that be on here? Description?
But yeah,
Oh fuck yeah. Up neutral good. Yeah, that kind of turns out. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Yeah, and I guess I don't know how to keep the boat together
yeah,
with these crazy fellas.
yeah. And this is kind of like going into like DMing metagaming, but this is like just here for the podcast, really. I was doing a little research around some like DMs guilds and shit like that, and kind of like looking around, doing some Google searches, and some people came into the same situation I was in, where a character doesn't exactly follow their alignment and how far you should let that go. So, and everybody kind of like was on the same page of like the fucking if at some point, because I mean alignment isn't really descriptive, it's more of like your
Yeah,
actions and the things you do. So it's kind of like if at some point, like say like 3 4 5 sessions later on, and they're still continuously on this
that's just their
path
new
of,
alignment.
yeah, if they're on this constant path, like say if he's like lawful good and they continuously go on this path of chaotic, at that point that's when you would just kind of like bring it up to him and be like, hey, look, you see why this is happening. Like granted, I mean, everybody, like every DM that I've seen has said the same thing. Yeah, characters can change throughout the campaign and
hmm
everything. So at that point, just make sure that they're aware and make sure to write it down that like, hey, this is like your new alignment.
Yeah,
Just because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if like you're over there, for example, like plotting to like kill children or some shit like that, and your
you're
alignment
lawful
says you're
good.
lawful good. Like unless somehow it is lawful to plot against fucking,
Maybe they're
and
vampire babies.
maybe they're vampire babies. Drop them off in the sun, they'll be all right.
They're orphans, but they're vampire orphans. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, dude. Which I don't even remember what Ray's character alignment is either.
No idea.
I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, it ain't that important. But yeah, that was just one of the big things that happened throughout the session that like just took a whole fucking like hard left turn, and I was like, I was okay. That was not expected.
Yeah.
Like that was not expected.
Yeah. But I mean, now I know for the future how you want to handle like quests and stuff.
Yeah. But that was kind of like just experimenting around. But like
hmm
as I was kind of like writing it and everything, I was like, okay, so obviously there's gonna be a notice board, but and I was like, you always hear about like in video games, like they just grab the quest, go fucking do it,
Do it.
then come back, and then there's just they don't have any like evidence other than the shit that they've looted.
Yeah, or
And
like
I
it's
was
just like
like,
an
well,
automatic completion type thing. Like,
yeah, or like an automatic completion, and it's kind of like, well, if we're doing like D&D and we're role playing, they should
kind of,
probably come
yeah.
back with like some evidence to be like, hey, like instead of just the character just being like, all right, well here you fucking go, and then just on
That,
their
and I
merry
was
way.
kind of thinking how I might do a similar thing is instead of just having like just like a job board, like that might be like a thing in like real like what like out in the boony like small town type places, in like the
Yeah.
larger towns and cities, I'm thinking about just having like it all be guild based, where it's like, right,
Yeah.
there's like a system that there's like people can go to like, I don't know, an adventure guilds or something of the
Oh yeah.
sort, and they give give them the jobs that they need or whatever it is, and that's where the rewards are, and then it's maybe it is on the honor system, but you have to like work your way up to like the bigger reward stuff to be able to have access to the bigger reward stuff. Cause and it'll,
Yeah.
maybe it's at first it's not like you have to actually have proof, but then like when you get the higher ranks, maybe it's kind of more on the honor system type thing, or you'll be doing things that it'll be obvious if you did or didn't. Because like
Yeah.
if it's like a town's overrun with fucking goblins or orcs or whatever, if people go to that town and they're still there, then clearly you didn't clear them out. Uh, and then maybe that'll like be a punishment for it or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking about that like afterwards. Like that's maybe how I
Yeah.
would maybe do it, or
Yeah.
maybe or at least have
There.
maybe have them like say like have like the jobs posted, but then say like you have to like because for all he like listen, we don't have proof. For all he knows, we could have just saw the job posting and say, hey, we did it. Maybe
Yeah.
have it to where like you have to go. Maybe it's implied on the job posting we should go talk to the person offering the job first, and maybe we
Right.
can
Yeah.
haggle price or agree on like what to do and like how, and we could talk. We ask them like, how do you want us to prove that we did it? Like how do you? Cause like that could be like a thing. Like
Yeah.
maybe what could have prevented what happened is we saw who the job was from and talked to them. Maybe haggle the price a bit and then say, okay, how do you want us to prove
Yeah.
what's done is done?
Yeah. True. True.
I might try and convince him to do that next time. Because clearly we should probably leave town and go get a job somewhere else. I don't know. We'll have to see how the beginning conversation of the next session goes, with how it ended with us about to talk to some people.
Yeah. Which there's another thing I was kind of looking at within like the DMs like guild and shit like that where I was kind of like, okay, well, like, say, let's just for example, say you guys end up meeting like a friendly NPC that ends up fucking traveling with you, which if that ends up happening, I'll probably hand somebody like a character sheet and y'all could like pass it around, and if like combat comes around,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let each of you take a turn like rolling that character's stats or rolls or whatever the fuck it is. Um, Otherwise, because I would just be fighting myself, kicking my own ass or some shit like
Yeah,
that,
I would
fucking behind the screen.
maybe for a session have one person play that character,
Yeah,
or at least not maybe not necessarily play them, but like when it comes to combat, let them just handle it all. Like
yeah,
one, and then maybe like another session, someone else could do it. Because if it's getting passed around during a session, it's going to get fucking
yeah, maybe, yeah,
complicated, and people are always
yeah.
fucking
Or
doing a little fucking little
yeah, or if one of you like specifically hire like
yeah,
somebody with your own money, then obviously like you would be in control of like that character's actions.
yeah. And that
Um,
would make initiative easier, because instead of them going a separate initiative, they could just go at the same time.
Maybe, yeah.
Depends on how
Um,
you want to do it. I mean, I think
it
that.
would probably still be its like own separate initiative just in case. But there is a really cool system that somebody made up that I saw that was a loyalty system,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, ooh, that could be really good. And so basically, like combining everybody's like charisma score, and then that being like the starting base of their loyalty counters, and then I think it's like a D4 or something like that if like they compliment them or do something that's like they like or it was in their favor, and then 2D4 if they like insult them or fucking do some shit that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how far and up and down it
They
goes
might
on the loyalty
leave.
scale, they might leave, they might attack you on the spot, or they might pretend to stick around and then plot to kill the party or some shit like that. And I was
It's
like,
pretty cool.
that's a cool fucking ass idea. But knowing this party,
That you can go all the way through that fucking loyalty in one conversation,
bro, bro, dead ass. I mean, do you remember Toe? Oh
dude.
my
Don't
god.
fucking. There was already some fucking issues going on with that shit, and like, I don't know, like I should have knew better than to fucking use one of the official dwarf last names that had fucking toe as like Big Toe or something. That's an official fucking last name for in the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition book for dwarves.
Bro, the entire time we were calling that bitch Toe.
Camel toe.
Camel Toe.
Yeah, that and referring to workers in a market as slaves. Yeah.
That was a fucked up party, dude. That was such a fucked party.
You know, new party, same players. You know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, it is. We've grown since then. We've aged.
Come a long way since camel toe and nipple clamps.
Fucking dude, I'm so glad I killed off nipple clamps.
I was like thinking about that shit the other day about like just how all that shit went down, dude.
Like, I know it's a really shitty thing to like for a DM to be proud of killing their fucking player characters, but at the same time, this dude had it fucking coming.
Yeah, that character did.
That character needed to go, dude.
Writing was on the wall when that was their name was nipple clamps.
Yeah. And then what was his character after that? He named it after a soup.
Oh,
Shit like that.
what was it? Literally like chicken noodle soup.
Some shit like that. I don't remember. It's been fucking
Or was it miso soup?
miso. That's what it was.
It
Miso
was
soup. Yeah.
fucking. I love you, Jordan.
we love you, dude.
In case you're watching, we're not making fun of you. We're laughing with you.
No, man. Nipple clamps though needed to fucking go, and he did go.
I don't even fucking remember what Lurie's character was because he died too.
Dude, he died with him because like, I just remember it going down like. He started shit with the NPC that was supposed to be your guys' allies.
Yeah.
And it was like a commander of the guard and a tiefling ambassador. And like right off the bat, as soon as like you guys went into like the fucking ship, you started having this conversation, a little time goes by, and then Nipple Clash is just like, I'm choosing violence. Just like dead ass was like fucking mocking the shit out of the commander.
Well, and I remember
fucking,
specifically what he was saying too, because as you could tell, because nipple clamps, his thing was that he said he didn't believe that the ambassador was who he said he was. So he said, "Show me your nipples to prove who you are. I know everyone in the world's nipples." End quote. That's what set it off. And shit immediately went down.
yeah.
Lurie died because he thought we were all gonna stay and fight. Fucking yeah right. I set that bitch on fire and jumped off the boat, and Michael followed.
Yeah, you and Michael fucking
fucking
the fuck
dipped.
out.
I was like, we ain't not getting out of this shit alive, dude. We're like level 3. Fuck this.
Yeah. You guys were like level 3, but like at the same time, I was like, okay, so I had like the full battle map out and everything. And I was like, okay, well, here's your ship. And I had all these dots just starting to fucking show up because it's in the middle of a fucking dockyard. It's
literally like it was literally like a military command, like admiral ship full of soldiers, and there's more like at the dock. And like, motherfucker, you want to? We ain't getting out of this shit.
Yeah, I just remember that like those two were like inside of like the captain's like lodge or whatever inside the ship. Y'all went out, and all the fucking army was swarming inside of the one fucking room.
Well, and I'm pretty sure.
Let me put it to you this way: as soon as he went down for his death saves, I didn't make him roll for them death saves.
Well, not only that, but by that point, the point that was happening and Lurie was dying, Because before I jumped off the boat, because I don't remember how I got out, how I snuck out the boat, but Michael had a disguise. He was disguised as a guard. Like he immediately just like fucking.
Yeah, he disguised self, and then you had the I gave you the disguise hat.
Okay, that's what it was. So we were able to like sneak out as guards, and I was like, I was super paranoid that we were gonna get found out, and I was like, I don't want them because we were like going to jump off the boat and swim away. So I was like, I don't want them to come after us. So I pulled out a torch and threw it at the sails and lit the whole boat on fire.
Yeah,
That's
needless to
fucking.
say, they eventually became high highly wanted for the attempt of
Well,
assassination of a commander and
and you
ambassador.
see, you say that, but like, I don't remember there being like any fallout later on in the campaign about
Well,
that.
we never did get to that part because
Okay.
like you guys went back to like the mansion with like the dead people
Yeah.
as like your butlers and shit like that. And then you went on to your mission into like the mountains and the hills for fucking like who
Okay.
knows how long. And then there was a part with like a pirate ship, I think. I can't remember.
I don't. I think that was like a period where we couldn't get together as often, so we weren't playing as much for like a little while.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, that's about like
Okay.
well that and I remember the deck of many things coming into play and how it ended.
And how I am like fucking like 5 for 5 of like good pulls on the deck committee things.
Yeah, literally.
Oh,
Fucking
and like multiple games I've gotten to fucking like immediately level up.
yeah, you got the immediate level up, you got the wish spells.
mm,
Fucking but yeah, he's about the only person in that entire campaign that got a good ending.
yeah.
Because I remember Michael, no, Jordan pulled from the fucking deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the card where it turns somebody on you, turns somebody against you at any random point in it, who any random person they know. So
Okay.
I was like, at the end, I was like, we never did get to that. And I was like, hey, Michael, you feel a sudden fucking urge to want to kill this little fucking guy. And so it ended with him going and being like the Spider Queen's like
Oh
right
hell
hand
yeah.
man, like being the total simp that he was for her. And
I was
then
straight up like,
all I,
I am a leg man. She has 8 legs.
yeah. And then it ended off. I can't remember what the fuck happened with Lurie's character. I think he just kind of like went off and just was like bye.
Fucking who knows?
And
His,
then
his character in my game fucking.
yeah, ended in a scene where all they saw was Michael and Jordan's character running in the distance with Michael behind him with his fucking sword drawn and everything, and then that was the end.
It's like
That was the
peace.
end. Like fucking bruh. Bruh. But yeah. Oh.
And because I mentioned it earlier, I bought the Tyranny of Dragons, a
Hell
book that
yeah,
I didn't
dude.
know that they actually still made, because I like until literally when I bought it the other day, I didn't see this edition of this book. I only ever saw like the special edition with like the alternate cover and stuff. And then
Yeah.
like for I swear to God, for so long I couldn't find the second book in the series. I don't have the first one because I was gonna
Oh
buy it.
yeah.
Yeah, you have both of them. I was gonna buy them at the same time, but I could only
Yeah.
ever find the first one in stock.
Yeah. Horde of the Dragon
Yeah,
Queen and then
Rise of
the Rise
Tiamat.
of Tiamat.
And I just
Yeah.
couldn't for the life of me find it for so long. And even when I finally did find it, like after I bought this one the other day, it was like fucking like 60, $70.
Holy shit.
I think it's because they didn't have it for so long that there was like a big demand for it on Amazon. So probably a lot of people order right away. And when shit like that happens on Amazon,
Yeah.
Amazon has an automatic pricing system that changes price based off supply and demand. And I think it just shot that price up. That happens from time to time. Uh, but then I saw
Yeah.
like fucking the all-in-one version, fucking like 20 something, not even $30. I was like, fucking,
Oh yeah.
I don't care if I got like $70 in my account. I get paid tomorrow.
Oh yeah, buddy.
1 day shipping, you say? I bet. And it's
Yeah,
fucking
shit,
pretty
dude.
cool. I've enjoyed what I've read of it so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It's a super nice book too. Like this, this is definitely a campaign because we have yet to run like actual like D&D like modules and
Uh,
everything.
I mean, I
Well,
kind of
kind
always
of,
have,
sorta.
because the first campaign we did, or at least the beginning of it, yeah, kind of, it, it kind of blend all into one. Where I kind of just like hard reset the world and like send everyone else to like a new realm. Um,
Yeah,
the very first thing we did was just like random dungeons, and then I kind of brought it into what was supposed to be Prince of the Apocalypse, which is like kind of an open world. You can
yeah.
kind of
Oh,
do it in
that's
whatever
right.
order,
Yeah,
and we kind of, I don't know. This when we were still kind of figuring learn how to play and figuring out how to do shit, and like I don't know. I couldn't really run it as the book said because we were taking too long to do stuff, and so technically y'all failed that campaign.
yeah. We did fill
The
that
world
campaign.
ended, and I just like said, "Oh, Baphomet saves you all and sends you to another fucking realm." And then from there, like I was like, "Okay, we're going to do like these adventures to kind of build y'all up, and then we might try again later on." And I mean, I brought y'all through like two or three of the things, sort of from the yawning portal. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like the last one we were doing was y'all were on y'all's way through, like almost at the end of it, and then everyone decided to retire.
Right after our paladin gets
Right
fucking
after Lurie
splattered.
fucking falls nuts first on a rope and then down a bottomless pit to his death.
Yep.
Um, you don't even like. I
Yeah.
had so much shit planned, like, but like there was like ways to get through that boss fight without actually fighting and stuff. Like I had so much shit like prepared for you, and I was just like, oh, well. At least not like written down prepared, but like I had thought about it a lot, and I was excited to get
Yeah.
to it and have like a couple like things happen. No, fucking after that happened, I fucking quit, dude. But like y'all did like this, y'all did for the most part the Sunless Citadel without like the extra story stuff attached to it. Where y'all went underground to that underground tower
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the baby dragon was that y'all rescued and the kobolds and all that and the shiny rocks. That was my addition, by the way. The shiny rocks is my addition.
I forgot about that. Oh, I remember the shiny rocks. I do remember that. I also remember us. I think it was like very early on, like maybe when we were like maybe level 3. We were like going through the Prince of Apocalypse or whatever,
Yeah, that was at the very
and
beginning.
we chose to go to like the fire region or
Yeah,
some shit like that, and we ended up going through like that whole fucking shitscapade of like the mages and fucking like I don't even remember like what fully happened, but I just remember
getting
that
one shot at someone
we
got one shot at.
yeah, somebody got one shot.
So
It might have been me actually. I
it
think it might have been me.
it might have that was not part of that. That was that area y'all were in were, but I don't think it's had like any creatures in this area. And I was like, oh, I'm smart. I could figure out how to fucking create an encounter with creatures from the monster manual and having fighting a party that's equal. I did not. Um, yeah, I put like two bone minotaurs in there, and then a bone naga, which y'all I took
Oh,
out because
those were actually different. Those that was a different scenario. That was after the
because with the bone no, the bone minotaur almost one shot at Jordan.
yeah, yeah, that one almost fucking wiped his ass immediately.
Yeah. Um yeah, that fight that was like the most blatant like, oh, this is not an appropriate challenge for you guys. Let me just take out this third creature that was going to show up halfway through and just like not have him show up. Cuz that fucking bone naga is like the bone snake is like a full-on spellcaster and shit. It can do like fucking third or fourth level spells and
Yeah.
shit. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
I misinterpreted how challenge ratings work.
Yeah. Well, and the funny part was too, because like I was like trying so hard not to metagame because like I remember I had just gotten like my monster manual at that time too, and I was flipping through and I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so badass looking, and seeing the bone Naka,
Hmm.
and then like 4 or 5 sessions later, fucking there they are, dude. It's like, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, we are so fucked.
Yeah, I
It's
was
like,
like, ooh, these things are cool. Let's fight two of them.
we've grown as men since then.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
shit! What time we got?
like an hour.
All right.
So we can just like kind of fastball this last couple things.
Yeah.
I went to Mississippi Comic Con. this past weekend. It just happened to be going on when I was out there, and I
Yeah.
picked up a poster.
Mm.
So this will be framed and probably put behind me somewhere. Probably right next to this, fucking the Godzilla Criterion Collection. Yeah, right there. I'll probably go like right next to that,
Yeah.
right next to the Spider-Man poster. Um, I just wanted to show that off because I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah. That's
Um,
fucking dope.
see anything else? Want to? Oh, this is like a quick topic. I don't know if you've noticed, but movies come out on DVD and Blu-ray very fast now.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Two
have.
weeks ago, I bought John Wick 4.
It's already out.
Bro, I watched it 2 weeks ago at home in my room.
Bro. What the fuck?
Fucking the other day, literally like a week or two after I saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Amazon has pre-orders for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Blu-ray.
Oh
It
my.
didn't have a date or I think a price, but you can still pre-order it. I think it might have had a price, but it didn't have a date. It might now, I don't know. But yeah, dude, movies and shit come out so fucking fast.
I
Like,
remember you had to wait months after the
bro, you had to wait like a
fucking.
year.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, you had to wait so fucking long. I guess now because everything's going to streaming like 3 months after it goes to the movies, it's like
They're able to just.
they're just putting it out on fucking DVD and Blu-ray, dude.
Yeah. I
I
guess.
mean,
I
shit.
guess you might as well.
I think Guardians might already be at the be fucking Blu-ray and DVD and shit.
Jesus.
Like, they're fucking coming out so goddamn fast. It's like
Bro.
it makes me like some movies. I'm like, oh, I get like if it's a movie that I know I'm gonna like and then I'm gonna get like Indiana Jones. Like, I'm debating on whether or not to see it at the movies because it fucking two months is gonna be on fucking Blu-ray. I could just go buy it at Walmart.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
Fucking Christ, man.
I do want to see
Yeah.
Oppenheimer though. I do want to try and see that in IMAX, or if I could find it, see if somewhere out here has that 70 millimeter whatever the fuck the special thing they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but I at least want to see it in IMAX. Which one of
Yeah,
my
dude.
favorite recent memes has been, fuck. It's of course related to Oppenheimer and Barbie coming out on the same weekend. It's people enjoying the Barbie movie, and it's Aunt May like praying on her bed, and then it's Oppenheimer when the bomb goes off and the fucking wall explodes.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
We gotta go see that in IMAX, dude.
Bro, that's gonna be such a good fucking movie.
It's coming out.
That's gonna.
It's like real soon, isn't it?
Um,
I'm pretty sure it
I
is.
don't know. I always feel like I hear like it being on and off.
Oppenheimer release date
I think it's this summer.
says July 21st, so a couple weeks.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Fuck. I thought it was a
so
little
is
bit further
Barbie,
than that. Yeah.
July 21st.
Fucking Barbie, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm just going for Ken doll.
bro, fucking. This kind of reminded me. This will be the last thing we can wrap up. There's a fucking one of like like these movies come out that have like all these like different posters and like posters for all the different characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Michael Cera plays a
Oh.
character in Barbie called Alan, but the font they used looks like it says Allah, and so it says something about Allah, and then people are like, "Oh, praise Muhammad! Our brother Michael Cera has found Muhammad."
Dude, I didn't think he'd ever do any more movies. He hasn't done shit in forever.
Hey, guess the
But
right
hey,
role came around.
yeah, dude, he's Allah, you know?
He's Allah.
Bruh, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, no, he's officially Allah, not that Alan bullshit. That's
Yeah.
fucking. Oh, that's fucking tier 10 shit, dude. Fucking, I could just picture his dorky ass fucking face.
Yeah, it says. Oh yeah, yeah. It says it's supposed to say there's only one Alan, but it looks like it says there's only one Allah. So it says Alhamdulillah, our brother Michael Sarah has accepted Islam into the holy mouth of Ramadan in the holy month of Ramadan. And then like someone else posted like there is only one Allah. Thank you, Barbie, for acknowledging this.
Oh my fucking god,
It's
dude.
fucking great.
So
Anyway,
fucking amazing. But yeah. Oh, but yeah. What episode is this again?
22. 22.
22. Thank you everybody for sticking in and watching episode 22 of Trapped in a Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure to follow us down in our, socials down and below, and stay tuned for upcoming videos.
Mm-hmm.
As always, as at the time of recording this, we just dropped another part of SD Gundam,
Part
so go be sure
7.
to check that shit out. Yeah, part 7.
Part
I go
8. So
check that
that's the
shit out.
yeah, that was a few days ago.
So
And then in a few days we'll have part 8 coming out. And then after that will probably be Fight Night 3. Mortal Kombat
yeah,
11.
Mortal Kombat 11. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, let us know what your favorite part was. Let us know what your thoughts on D&D and all that shit, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, the flippity floppity.